Oh man, this part never gets old, man. Oh, where do I get a Guitar Hero controller? Well, check your Goodwills, my dude. Oh man, he's right. I can't just keep using my keyboard and holding it like a Guitar Hero guitar and think I'm gonna get anywhere. I gotta go right now. Tesla auto drive on.
Tesla auto drive activated. You are going to Goodwill.
All right, now time to sit back. Man, this drive's gonna be long. I wish I had a game to play. And luckily, there is a game for you to play. Raid Shadow Legends, available on iOS, Android, and PC. Raid Shadow Legends is a dark fantasy RPG with over 16 different factions and 500 plus champions, so that every single play experience is going to be different. An amazing production value for something that's played on your phone? On top of all of this, they've also released the Artifact Forge, where you can save time and craft artifacts directly, as well as a whole new advanced quest system with dope rewards. And that's not all. They also brought out some amazing new champions, and they're developing the Doom Tower as we speak, which I'm stoked about. Raid is constantly adding new stuff to the game. There's tons of different champions to choose from, including Gallic. That's like my name, but with a G, and I guess a C, but it's fine. Kind of looked like me too. Boom! How about you? See ya. Easy battle. Also, one thing that I really like about this game is the customization between whichever champion you choose. You can take someone that looks kind of cool and just feed all of your champions towards your one champion to buff them to the max using the tavern. So what are you waiting for? Go to the video description, click on the special links down below, and if you're a new player, you'll get 10 mystery shards, 1 energy refill, 100,000 silver, and 1 free champion. Slasher. This dude looks pretty nasty. All this treasure will be waiting for you here in the inbox in the main menu for the next 30 days. Let me first preface this video really quick by saying I've been playing this game for a really long time. It's been like 15 years since the first Guitar Hero came out, and I've been playing since then, and I literally haven't stopped. I do have the best intentions in mind for every type of player. All the guitars that you see right here are the ones that I'm talking about today. We're going to be talking today about all the platforms and which ones you should be buying and which ones you should be avoiding, and price ranges too. But, you know, obviously that's going to be varying. Clone Hero is only available on PC, Mac, and Android, and the best experience is mostly with a wired peripheral. So you got all the platforms for the guitars right here. Let's start off with that information in general. So before Past Me gets into what guitars to buy, I wanted to talk really quick about the places where you would find these Guitar Hero guitars. Now, I'm going to be speaking mostly about my experience with thrift stores in this green screen footage, but other places where you can find guitars is Facebook Marketplace, shopgoodwill.com, even though that's like kind of a bidding place, so bid at your own risk. eBay, also bid heavy. You can make offers. You can also just straight up buy these controllers depending on the seller. But keep in mind when you do like agree to meet somebody to purchase a controller, I would want you to definitely keep your own safety in mind. Meet in a public place. No one wants to get mugged or anything, or potentially like harmed or anything like that. I just want everyone to be safe when they're making these purchases, you know? All right, let's get back to my most commonly found guitars. The SG, PlayStation 2, mostly wired. There is a wireless variant, but it looks completely different than this. I do have another one of these lying around somewhere, but yeah. But PlayStation 2 guitars, they're mostly good. The buttons don't feel bad. They're actually fairly responsive and don't really have that long of a travel distance. It's a very small size. The strum bar feels good. The strum bar is a bit on the smaller side, but fairly durable. I don't know, when I was a kid, these were easily breakable, so I had to fix it many times as a kid, but nowadays, you know, you gotta treat these softly. These things are delicate. They're not being made anymore, you know? Maybe like 80 and 90% of thrift store runs, I would find a PlayStation 2 guitar. They've been selling PS2 to USB adapters since like the early 2000s. You can probably find them for like $6 on eBay, maybe even less. You can find them for like $5, $4 on eBay. Amazon, I know they sell them for like $8, so you really only need to budget maybe like $20 minimum for these guys, maybe 30.
So this is probably the cheapest buy-in for Guitar Hero guitar experience. On most Goodwill runs, I believe that this guitar was being sold anywhere from like $2 to $20 for this guitar. On Facebook Marketplace, I'm not entirely sure it's gotten that like, oh, it's a retro because it's PlayStation 2 type of feel yet. So I don't know if people are selling these for $60 on Facebook Marketplace, or if they're selling it for you know, like 20 bucks a pop. But either way, 20 bucks is a decent price for this. 30 might be pushing it. And like always, surf eBay as well. The make offer button is very, very, very useful. And try not to look for too many bids, because I don't know, bids may vary. It's all up to your patience there. RAFnet,
Who I'll talk about later with Wii guitars.
also have an adapter for the PlayStation 2. It basically has like the same response time as an Xbox 360 controller. So if you know you want to budget like maybe $20 more for it, because it still is a $30 adapter, you know, 50 bucks probably. Decent price, very, very decent. The second most common Guitar Hero guitars that I was finding in thrift stores, in these thrift store runs, were unfortunately the Wii guitars. I say unfortunately because these didn't become super valuable until the RAFnet came around in 2018. I want to say every time that I saw a Wii guitar in the thrift store, 100% of the time I avoided them. And do I regret that? Hell yes, I do. I absolutely regret that. Now, these guitars are probably one of the more valuable ones because of this adapter right here. The RAFnet adapter, this is a V3, the latest version that is out, and it basically converts this Guitar Hero controller into a extremely low latency guitar controller for PC in general. Probably the best Guitar Hero controller for you to grab if you want to have like a skill boost, you want to improve at the game, and you want to see progress happen. One of the best low latency setups that you can ask for. Now the buttons on this guitar are pretty darn nice. I want to say that these have some of the best stock buttons out of all of the Guitar Hero guitars in general. The Wii variants just have a short travel distance. Short travel distance is really what we're trying to go for here when you're playing quicker stuff, like you're playing like Dragon Force or like Doubling Down Georgia or something like that, or Jordan. Quick button presses, short travel distance. Wii guitars got that. And I'm talking all variants, like even the World Tour and the Guitar Hero 5 and Warriors Rock variants too. Strum bar, I want to say, is a little bit on the weaker side. Some models have a bit of a tougher strum bar, but definitely give this one some love. Don't go too hard on this one. So oftentimes you'll see these ranging from like $1 to like $20 if you're lucky to find one that way. On Facebook Marketplace, people tend to sell these. I still don't know if people really caught on to how valuable these Wii guitars are. Yeah, people still sell these on Facebook Marketplace for a lower price. So just be on the lookout for these. The Explorer for Xbox 360. This one is actually a guitar that I found at a Goodwill in, I want to say 2017, maybe early 2018 or so. This one I was finding very, very, very rarely. I want to say like maybe like 2016 or 2017 was when I was able to find the most of these. I found like maybe 3 or 4 in a couple of runs, but it took the whole year for me to find those 3 to 4 guitars. This guitar is super duper valuable. Why? Because it is a direct USB connection. If you have an Xbox 360, it'll work. If you have a computer that plays Clone Hero, you can plug it in and it'll work. The strum bar is a little bit weak, but definitely give it some love and it won't overstrum or won't break or anything like that. The buttons feel pretty damn good. Some of them, some Explorers, they have a shorter travel distance, while others have a longer travel distance, almost to where it feels like your fingers are sinking into the guitar neck. But for the most part, Explorer buttons don't feel terrible. I think they're pretty good. They got some of the better buttons out of the entire series. Now, when it comes to the price of these Explorers, you're really gonna have a rough time on eBay, because a lot of them are gonna be selling for maybe $90 minimum, $60 minimum, but mostly you're gonna get dudes who are selling it for like $150, $130. If you had this guitar as a kid and it still works on your console, like, you know, obviously try and use it on your PC or try and use it on your Mac or your Android or whatever. This thing is a really, really good guitar. It's just good luck finding it for an affordable price. I don't want anybody getting gypped or anything. This thing is truly not worth going into the triple digits for, in my personal opinion. If you're looking for a buy-in price, 50 or under, please, for one of these, all right? If you could just promise me that, then I think that's a job well done, because man, people are getting away with that, and it makes me really sad. And if it doesn't come with a breakaway cable, this is like $2 or $3 on eBay. That's not a big deal. You can just pick that up. And as goes for the Xbox 360 wireless ones as well, people may be selling this for about $30 to $60, potentially like $100. Just because it's Xbox 360 doesn't mean it's the best that you can get. There are much cheaper options for Clone Hero, but if you have this already and you're just looking for the adapter, go ahead, pick up the adapter. You'll have a good time with that as well. But yeah, please like max out your price for Xbox 360 guitars. Cap that at like 50 bucks. Any Xbox 360 guitar, any of them. Unless it's a kiosk and you're like a game collector. Like if it's a kiosk guitar and it's rare and you know, if you want it, you can afford it. You can pay $100 for it. Those are the only times where I'm like, yeah, that's kind of justified, because admittedly I have done that too. I want to talk briefly about the World Tour and Guitar Hero 5 variants. So the Guitar Hero 5 variant and the Guitar Hero World Tour variant have a much more full body. I'm not a giant or anything, but this thing feels more full on the body than the SG or the Les Paul variant. The strum bar is still elongated on this Guitar Hero 5 version, but it's less flimsy than the World Tour. The buttons, as you can see, don't have that far of a travel distance, specifically this neck that I have, but most of the time, most of them will sink in and will feel a bit more snappier. Ooh, you hear that button ASMR? Yeah. I haven't had much experience with these strum bars breaking as much, and these were still one of my favorites back in the day. Just due to the quality and the build of these guitar controllers, these ones might go for about $30 to $50 minimum. 50 is probably 50 or 55 is probably the max that I would pay for one of these. Potentially 60 if it's newer. So yeah, like $60 maximum pay for these ones. The one thing that I wanted to talk about for PC and Clone Hero in general was the adapter. Every single one of these Guitar Hero controllers are going to need adapters, except for kiosk variants for PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 and wired guitars. Now, the only official wired guitars for 360 are the Rock Band 1 Strat and the Explorer. Those were the ones that you could buy in the store, no problem. You didn't have to go online and look for a kiosk or anything. Now, let's talk adapters really quick. For the Nintendo Wii guitar, my top choice, personally, is the RAFnet adapter, but it will set you back $30, about $30 USD. If you already spent like the max that I would tell you for this one, 30-ish, 40-ish dollars, and you already had the adapter, that's fine. But if you bought this guitar for $40 and you need to get the adapter too, that's gonna set you back maybe about $70, $80. This is why it's important to budget for it. There is another adapter out there that is similar to the RAFnet. Now, the Meo Adapter looks like this. Now, this adapter you can actually find at Walmart for about $14. Now, there is a catch to this adapter. It doesn't have as low of a latency as this, and also whammy is not supported. So yeah, for the Meo adapter, if you don't want to be spending like 30 USD, you want to go with a bit of a cheaper adapter, this is the one to go for. If you're playing like casually, but you still got a Wii guitar laying around. There is also another adapter for the Nintendo Wii called the Elecom Adapter. The Elecom Adapter does not work. Do not buy it. It cost me $20. You see that one on Amazon. Don't get that one. I've gotten so many mixed messages from people, and I've bought 2 of them myself, and they don't work. On multiple computers, they don't work. Yeah, this is the Elecom Adapter. I was really, really disappointed to find out that this one doesn't work. So don't pick this one up. This one's fucking useless. And there is one more adapter that I know about. It's called the Mayflash adapter. That one doesn't work either. That one does not work with Guitar Hero guitars specifically. It may work with classic controllers, but it doesn't work with Guitar Hero guitars. Jesus, that was a mouthful. Now for the adapters for the PlayStation 2 variant, things get a little bit easier. They've been selling PS2 to USB adapters since like the early 2000s. You can probably find them for like $6 on eBay, maybe even less. You can find them for like $5, $4 on eBay. Amazon, I know they sell them for like $8, so you really only need to budget maybe like $20 minimum for these guys, maybe 30. So this is probably the cheapest buy-in for Guitar Hero experience, and it's a pretty solid choice. RAFnet, the guys that I mentioned for the Wii guitars, they also have an adapter for the PlayStation 2. It basically has like the same response time as an Xbox 360 controller. So if, you know, you want to budget like maybe $20 more for it, because it still is a $30 adapter. $50, decent price. I'm all about saving people's money here. I've spent more on Guitar Hero guitars than anyone ever should. I've easily pumped like a couple thousand into all of my Guitar Hero guitars. I mean, I have to, man. I'm a Guitar Hero channel. So for the wireless Xbox 360 guitars, whether it be the Les Paul or the World Tour, Warriors of Rock, or Guitar Hero 5 guitars, all of them are probably going to be wireless when you're looking for them online. So how do you get around that? With the Xbox 360 wireless receiver for Windows. This guy may set you back quite a bit. I've been looking online, and these adapters don't go for very cheap anymore. They used to be about $20. Sometimes they go out of stock, and then you'll have to pay like $60 for them. The best quality that you're gonna go for is the Microsoft official one. I know that there are knockoff ones that don't have the Microsoft logo on them. I know as of recent Windows updates, I'm not sure if those work properly. So the budget for these ones is a bit high, and personally, you can go a little bit hardcore with these guitars, but wireless is a big thing that I have personally strayed away from since beginning to stream. You really can't have a good time if you're playing a song and the guitar goes out or the batteries die in it. And I know rechargeable batteries are a thing, but like in my opinion, I don't want to worry about batteries or anything like that. I would honestly only pay like $25 for this thing. If you can't find it for any cheaper than that, then I would say try and invest in a wired solution. So PlayStation 3, you're probably wondering about PlayStation 3. PS3 controllers have the same build quality as the Xbox 360. The only issue with those is that if you have the guitar, it has its own proprietary adapter. Yes, proprietary. You can't just get like any old adapter that might look like it. Like, you know, the Les Paul one looks like a pick. The World Tour one and the Guitar Hero 5 one look identical, but they're not the same. It is a fat fucking 0 out of 10 for PlayStation 3 guitars because of its proprietary adapters. And to make matters worse, these adapters are being sold for so much. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, like, the buy-in automatically increases into the 3-digit range. And even after all of that, in my experience with PlayStation 3 guitars, the input lag was atrocious. The guitars would be shutting off in the middle of song. I had 2 different PlayStation 3 guitars when I was like 14 or 15. I had a Guitar Hero 5 one, and I had a Les Paul. It is a fat L when you prefer a PlayStation 3 guitar over everything else that I've talked about today. So when it comes to top Guitar Hero guitars that I like to use, it is these guys right here. This is the World Tour variant, or it could be a Guitar Hero 5 variant as well. And the Wii Les Paul with the RAFnet adapter. It's just got low latency. For me, it means more fun. I can hit shit like Crisis City, you know, like I wouldn't FC Crisis City if it weren't for, you know, this adapter. Second best choice would probably be the PlayStation 2 guitar with the RAFnet adapter, or the Xbox 360 Explorer. Both of these guitars have fairly low latency, not as low as the Wii guitars, but they provide a really, really good experience, and I can still play pretty fast stuff on here. So these are enjoyable. I'm a big fan of the way that these guitars feel. They're small, they're compact, and you know, they do provide a good casual experience and a bit of a hardcore experience as well. Both of these, I highly recommend both of these. These are like tier 2 for me. And I guess like the subgenre of tier 2s, I would also prefer like these kiosk ones, because these are direct to USB. These are also available for PS3, but you just gotta look out. You gotta look out like in many places for them. But I really, really enjoy the wired variants. I used to play on a World Tour variant a lot, just because of the size, very, very comfortable, and the buttons were nice, but they definitely got better the more that I played on them, obviously. Tier 3, if I'm not really caring too much about my playing or anything, and the option is there, I would use the Xbox 360 wireless. I haven't used Xbox 360 wireless on Clone Hero ever, really. I think when Clone Hero came out, I have fully switched over to wired. Like, I used to have a wired kiosk Les Paul, and I would just use that over pretty much anything. And if it wasn't that, then I was using the Explorer. But then once all the adapters, the RapNet adapters came in, then I fully switched over to those. This is purely casual for me, but you can definitely go harder on these. You really can. But keep in mind, notes may drop due to the wireless connectivity and the neck not being very reliable. There are tutorials online on how to make this a hardwired connection so that this never comes out and it doesn't ever drop an input. I can leave a decade-old tutorial up here in this corner for hardwiring if it really matters to you. This was a bit of a different video and a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I really hope that this buyer's guide kind of helped you a little bit. The next time you're going online and you're hoping to get a Guitar Hero guitar, you got my opinion on it. So now go out and have some fun. This was in no way sponsored by any of the adapters that I showed here, but this was sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. So I want to give a shout out to Raid for sponsoring this video and helping out the channel. I hope you guys all have a beautiful day, and thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for more. Peace out, everybody.